Hello everyone. I trust that this year 2013 will be a fruitful and serene one for all of us, all of you administrators and all of us programmers working together as Team Front Office. I'm going to begin today by showing you something new that we've devised, but I think it's a particularly apt little program that we've devised, because I see two basic prongs that we have to follow this year. One is that we as programmers need to consolidate all these huge leaps that we made last year, see what is really working well, what is not working so well, and really consolidate what is in front office. On the other hand, we do not want to be static. I have learned a tremendous amount about using AI, artificial intelligence, and I would really like to believe that we can be bounded only by our own imaginations. If you imagine something that would make your life easier, please let us know. I cannot promise that I can do everything that's asked for. What I can promise is that I will certainly try. Right, let's continue. What I've started doing is to actually use artificial intelligence to get two programs to talk to each other, and you'll see a lot of the stuff that we would normally sort of filter and then copy and then paste and then format, we can actually get it to do all of that by just pressing a button, basically, and me coding it so that on the one hand Front Office tells Excel what it must do, and then Excel does its thing, and then Excel passes control back to Front Office, and Front Office gives it further instructions, and so on. In other words, it's doing the work that we would normally do manually while we just sit back and watch it happen. Right, folks, here's the first thing. In your Dropbox folder, in your Front Office, you will find this mark sheet generator. Copy all those files, copy, any right click and copy, take them and paste them all into your iSoft folder, right? Paste them there. I've already done that. The two that we are most interested in, two things we're most interested in there. One is class lists 2013. It's going to be easier if we copy that little folder and paste a shortcut onto the desktop. The other file that we are really interested in is this thing called XLtransformations. I wasn't quite sure what other word to use for it, because it is basically transforming one type of sheet to another. Again, I'm going to copy that, simply paste a shortcut onto my desktop. Okay, now I'll change the icons or whatever I want to do later. In this class list 2013, you will see that there's registers, subjects, and teachers. And there, at this stage, there's nothing in any of them. Right. Before we do anything, people, before we do anything, and this is absolutely vital, please go to any blank Excel form. And this has actually got to happen in 2000. You can only use this program I've made now if you've got 2007 and upwards. I happen to be using 2010. In this section here, you've all seen this before because we do it in Front Office all the time. We have this little black arrow. We click on it, we go to More Commands, and we go to the Trust Center. Okay, the first important thing is to go to Trust Center Settings, and then you've got this thing here called Macro Settings. Now this is absolutely vital. When you click on Macro Settings, you will see that I've ticked the bottom one here, Enable All Macros. I know it says not recommended, potentially dangerous code can run. Well, I need to run that code in order for the program to work. Alright. Then we have Trusted Locations. Just tell it to add a new location, you'll see it, I've already put CISoft, and you would browse to your CISoft folder, there it is there, say OK, and make sure you tick the subfolders of this location are also trusted. Simply say OK. Okay, I've already done that, that's why it's doing that. Say OK again, and OK a final time. That means you've now enabled Excel to receive instructions from another program, in our case FrontOFFICE. Right, back to this program here. We simply open it. You will press Ctrl R and you'll prepare the database, at which point these tables will disappear, and in red you'll see the 6 or 7 tables that you need to link. Right, I've already done that. Let's refresh that. Right, in essence folks, what I'm going to do is start with the create register classes because it's the simplest one. What I'm going to tell, I'm try and keep this as simple as possible. What I'm basically doing with this artificial intelligence is I'm saying when I click that create register classes button, it goes and finds Excel and it gives instructions to Excel. Listen, I'm going to give you some register classes one by one. I want you to take data from those register classes, get all the data, put it in this order, and then create an Excel worksheet from that data. And I want you to use these colors, and I want you to use these columns, and I want you to use that alpha order. Now make it for me, create it for me, and put it in the register folder in 2013, the one that we had on the desktop. And Excel will say, right, I understand you, and it goes ahead and does its thing, and it passes control back to FrontOFFICE, and FrontOFFICE gives it another registration class, and it goes and does the same thing. So it's a continual loop, and at the end, of course, it'll get an instruction from Excel to say, right, I've done that one, and FrontOFFICE will tell it, okay, you can close down now because I've finished giving you register classes. I think that is the quickest, easiest way I can explain what is actually going on. So we see here at the moment I have no register classes. I'll go back to this and I'm going to say to the program, create me some register classes in Excel in this format, and I'll click on that button there. You'll see now the hourglass is starting to move, and it's thinking about it. It's giving Excel instructions, and then it's telling it what format it wants the thing in, and you can see once it's finished it moves on to the next one. I will let this one run its course. Obviously when we get to subjects I will cut it short until the end, so we don't waste time looking at the same thing over and over. I just want you to get an idea of what's happening. FrontOFFICE is giving this thing instructions, it's taking the data it's getting from FrontOFFICE, it's creating another spreadsheet, it's formatting that spreadsheet into certain columns and things, and it's then transferring it into that folder that we have on our desktop. Right, and of course the beauty of this AI thing is exactly that. I am, humbly admit, I am getting a bit better at this AI and what it can actually do. But it's interesting to see. I mean, you can imagine, you've probably done this before yourselves. You've copied and you've pasted things in and you've changed the format, and it's been quite a laborious process. Whereas right now I'm sitting with my hands folded, just watching it happen. Right, folks, once it gets to the end, it closes Excel, says, right, I've done all your work for you, and we can go and see if in fact it has done that. If I now go into my class lists, I want to see what registered classes I have in my school, and there they all are. Okay, I'll make a list view of them, and you'll see that it's put them all in here, and if I click on any one of them, it will open for me a class list for that class, right? And numbered in alphabetical order with the admin number. One of the first things I was asked was, are we stuck? Now, people, this again, here, please, we need to use imagination. You know, okay, Craig can do that. You can get the learners in there, you can get the admin numbers. And what happens if we want houses and gender and what have you and what have you? Guys, yeah, why not? I mean, again, if I've got this far, I would probably now start making a little checkbox thing for you. Do you want to, you know, tick the ones you want to see? House, gender, this, that, the next thing. And there's no reason why I can't get it to do that for you. Right. The other beauty thing about this, if you go back to this program, were I to run that again, let's say in 2 weeks' time, because some of those classes have changed, it would simply update the classes that it finds in here. So let's say 2 new learners had gone into Mrs. Philpott's class and one had left. This would still be one class here, but it would change to reflect what the reality in the class actually is right now. So it's great. Right, folks, now we come to the academics part. I've made it so that we can capture all the academic subjects either by, or in fact both if you want, by subjects, create subject folders. So it'll create a folder for every single subject. Right, and then if I tell it to create classes in that subject, in each subject it will, let's say English main language. For every English main language class it will create a class in that folder for every single class that does English main language. That's not used as much, thus far as I can tell, as the one for teachers. Alright, sorry, just to go back to subjects quickly. So if the head of accountancy comes along and says, can I have all the spreadsheets for my accountancy classes? You could simply go to that folder, you could go to subjects, go to the biology folder, sorry, not biology, accountancy folder, and simply copy that onto a flash disk for her or whatever. And all her classes will be in there. Right. If I want one for teachers, and this is the more common one, a teacher will arrive at your door and say, could you please give me Excel spreadsheets for all my classes? Okay, that is what we're going to do now. The first thing I'm going to do is create the teacher folders. When I click this button, and it's pretty quick, it has gone into the background there, it's got and looked up all your academic teachers, and it's made a list of them, because it's going to put that teacher's class into that teacher's folder. Here you will see, if I open teachers, there are all the teachers listed that take academic classes in their school. Right, it just took 1 second to do that. Right, so I've created these classes, and I'm now going to create the classes. Folks, I have made it compulsory to choose a grade. I'll tell you why. If you try and do the whole school at one time, you can have 400 and 600 classes in your school. And so you can sit there and watch this thing on the screen for 40 minutes by the time it finishes doing everything. It's easier just to do it by grade. I'm going to do the grade 12s here. It wouldn't matter if it was grade 4 or 6 or whatever the case might be that you were using. I'm going to tell it to create these classes and teacher folders. I will leave it running for a couple, and then I'm going to stop it so that we don't waste our time just sitting watching the same thing happen over and over again until it gets to the end and I can show you what it's done. Right, so I'll set the thing off to create these classes. You'll see it again, talking to Excel, telling Excel what to do. It's found Mrs. Aiken's class. It's now, you can see in every case, it is formatting the page. Right, I'm going to actually pause this now and let it carry on, and when it gets to the end, I'll be back with you. Right, folks, it's now finished doing all the grade 12 classes, and I'm going to go to my class lists. I did it under teachers, so I'm going to look in teachers. Let's look under Mrs. Aitken. We'll see that she's got 2 grade 12 classes, an A and a B class called here. If I click on either one of them, It will bring me up a list of who exactly is in a class, what register class each of them comes from, and so forth. Again, folks, you know, down the line, there's nothing to stop us putting in, you know, as you enter marks into front office and comments and things like that, no problem us making these things so that you can click a button, get all the classes with your marks, with your things that have been entered into front office. Really, again, I'll go back to what I said in the first place. Let's make this a year we are only bound by our imaginations. Technically, anything that you can imagine might well be able to be done. I might well be able to do it. I cannot promise it, but I may well be able to. That is the essence, folks. I think it covers just about everything that I can say right now about where we've got to with AI and where we are heading in terms of getting the program to do the work for us. As you say, there has an example of front office talking to Excel and back again. They're giving each other instructions. We sit back and watch the process. Of course, I must end off by saying that the bedrock principle of this year is to take all those massive advanced changes we made last year and make sure that they are all working consistently and properly as they ought. Folks, I hope you enjoyed that. It's where we're going. Have fun. I'll chat later. Anybody that has a hassle with that didn't follow the video, we are here for you. Bye now.